Now, when we work inside of Maya, we're able to take advantage of its project-based system in order to keep all of the information and data required for that scene nicely organized within a simple file structure. Now, the way in which we set this up is via the File menu. So if I just go into there, and then fifth option from the bottom, we have a project option with an arrow giving us 3 further options to select, either New, Edit Current, or Set. Now we're going to go through Edit Current and Set in a moment. I'm just going to click on New, as this will allow me to create a new project. And the first 2 options, and probably the most important really, are the name and location. Now the name is fairly self-explanatory, so I'm just going to call this project, as an example, Project C. Now when you're working on a project, you're obviously going to pick a name that's going to be relevant. The location is where we specify this project to be saved. If I just hit the Browse button, that will take me through to a specific location, and we'll go through this window in an additional video. All I just want to show you is once you've specified a path or a folder, all you need to do is just select Open, and you can see that that location pathway has been placed into that window there. The final thing that we need to do is set up all of the folder structure. Now, it's not a complicated process, but it does help to understand what's going on. If we just hit the Use Defaults button, you see that all of a sudden all of these areas become filled. And what this means is that for all the scenes that you work in, so all the Maya scenes, it's going to save it directly into this folder. For any images that you use, you're going to want to store them, or it's going to look for those images within that folder. Same as source images. You're going to store them in this folder, and then whenever you specify perhaps a texture, it's going to look directly into that. Now, all of these folders are going to be useful to you when you're working in scenes. Obviously, some of them are for more complicated scenes, but you will regularly be delving into the project. Now, if I just hit Accept, take a moment to apply that, and it doesn't really look as if anything has actually happened. However, if I just go to Windows Explorer, this is the path that I specified, so it's on this drive, Courseware Development 2011 Updates, Assets, Projects and Scenes, and I've actually got 3 projects within there now. That's the one that I just created, and all it looks like is a folder. However, inside this folder, we have a number of other folders. So taking a look at some of these, you'll notice that, of course, we have the Scenes folder that I was discussing, Source Images, Images folder, and all of the rest that we can take advantage of. The benefit of using this system means that not only do you have a very simple way of creating a very organized structure for your work, but it means that if someone was to take over your scene, they're going to know where everything's stored based upon this structure. Plus, if you were to move this project, so if I was to take it from the T drive and place it within a different drive, such as my local C drive, it's not going to break any of the connections, because using a project means that all of the paths for your textures or source images are going to be local. So it doesn't matter where the project is, as long as those textures remain in the source images folder. Once we've got the project created, we're always going to be able to edit some of the structure. Now we can do that via the File menu, down to the Project option and to the Edit Current. Now at present, my current project is Project C that I created a moment ago. And obviously it's got all of the default folders that we created. Now if I wanted to, I can actually edit this and say that for all of my scenes, whenever I want to open a scene or save a scene, I can actually switch this, as an example, to the Images folder. So if I was to hit Accept, okay, I've now applied that to the project. If I was to say File and Open, rather than taking me through to the Scenes folder, what it's going to do instead, as you can see, is take me to the correct project, but this time take me to the Images. Now, of course, that's not a very useful thing for us to do, but it's a simple way of demonstrating how you can edit where Maya is going to look for specific scenes, textures, or data. Now, because all the data for our scenes is saved in individual or specific projects, it means that when we're working with inside Maya, we're going to need to make sure that we have our correct project set. As an example, if I just take a look at the project that I have set at the moment, and I can do that via going to Edit Current, I can see that I'm working within Project C. Now that's all very well, but say for example I now wanted to work on project A. I wanted to go back and work on a different shot that was held inside of that project. Now rather than saying File, Open Scene, it taking me through to project C and then I would have to browse through to see my project, all I need to do is actually just change the current project that Maya's working from. I can do this by File, Project and Set. Takes me to a set project window, and I can choose, as an example from these three that I've created, let's say project A, I now want that to be my current. So I just highlight it and hit set. Now when I say File and Open Scene, it's going to be looking into the Scenes folder of project A. Also with that in mind, if I want to go and open a texture, it's going to look directly into the source images of project A. Now something to mention when it comes to projects is that every time you close down Maya, what it will do is it will remember the project that you're working on. If I was to close down the Maya now and restart it, it would automatically open up inside of project A. It will always remember the last project that you've been working on. Now there's a few ways around this and a few additional things that I want to point out. You'll notice that we have File, and we've also got an option down here, Recent Projects. You can see that over a period of time, I've been working with inside Project A, Project C, Project B. So it's a slightly quicker way, rather than saying Project Set and going and finding it, I can just say Recent Projects, I want to go and work in Project B now. Say File and Open Scene, and now I'm looking in the Scenes folder of Project B. So that's one way that I can quickly get to recent projects that I've been working in. Now I've said that when you open up Maya, what it's going to do is open up in the last project that you've set. If you open up Maya for the first time, what you'll find is based upon your preferences that it will open within the default project. Now the default project is created by Maya, and as you can see here within my documents, Maya's created a project and a default project that inside has a number of folders. Now based upon our preferences, that project becomes active, as I said, the first time you open Maya. If I go to my window, Settings, Preferences and Preferences, and you can refer to the Preferences video regarding some of the options that are available in here. If I just come down to Files and Projects, you'll notice that I can specify a default projects directory. So rather than using the one that's created by Maya, I can specify my own default, or if I wanted to, rather than starting in the last project that I saved, I can actually specify one within here. Last little pointer, as you can see just beneath that, I have a recent history size. Now this is not just for projects, as you can see, it's for files and increments, which are mentioned in other videos, but the projects, it's got a maximum of 4 that will be shown. Therefore, if I just say File, Recent Projects, okay, at the moment I've only got 3. If I'd been in 5 projects recently, it's only going to display 4 of them.